in for a consult, and then you'll meet with me or another health advisor who's pretty well versed in all of the modalities, and sit down and one-on-one come up with a game plan based off of if it's chronic, if it's acute, a little bit about your medical history, a little bit about your personality. Are you somebody who likes more to be really active in your healthcare? If you're somebody who likes to be a little bit more passive in your healthcare, what we try to do is fit you to the best place that we feel like is going to get you the biggest kickstart and bang to come out quick and hard and fast. And then sometimes it's utilizing a couple modalities together. So sometimes it's an individual service. Sometimes I might recommend, hey, start with this, then move into this, and then we have a team of people that if you're open to it, we'll kind of stay in communication with each other and make sure our strategies are moving well. So we do recognize and respect prescription drug surgeries and Western diagnostics. However, there's a time with alternative healthcare or holistic healthcare or complementary healthcare where you're past a point. And I'm going to deviate for a second. Our body gives us lots of signals, whether it's from pain or whether it's from insomnia or whether it's from our gut or a skin condition or headaches. All these signals are coming up and your body saying, hey, there's something going on here. It's out of balance. It's not working right. And a lot of people, we just attribute that to, oh, it's been like that for a couple of years. It's normal for me. And so you start putting yourself at this lower norm instead of this higher level where you should be. And what happens is the body just slowly deteriorates. So what feels okay, like, oh, I'm constipated and I only go to the bathroom 3 times a week and that's my norm, is actually a problem when we let it go too long. And then 5 or 10 years down the road, that stress on the system causes inflammation. And then that inflammation causes the disease process to speed up and get worse. So any little signal you have, whether it's from a headache or the plantar fasciitis or just a little nerve pain down the hip, all of those are signals that we have to pay attention to. But there's a point to where we're kind of past the point of no return. And so sometimes, some of those things are necessary. But we also recognize that prescription drugs have lots of side effects. And what happens is once you start down that slippery slope, you start taking another drug to stop the side effect from the drug you're taking. So a lot of steroids, for instance, will cause digestive problems. So then you're taking stuff for your digestion, or then you're taking stuff for your sleep. And then that causes other problems. And then, so I've had people come in that's been on 41 medications before. And the average person comes in is on 4, I would say. We also recognize damage from surgery. If you have a herniated disc, unless it's ruptured, there's something you can do about it. You don't have to have surgery. So you always want to start with the least invasive and then move forward. If you just jump right to surgery, we have a lot of people who come in and have a lot of prolonged chronic problems from scar tissue buildup, and then they want to go back and do surgery to remove the scar tissue that was caused by the surgery. So there's a little bit of kind of goofiness there, but we also recognize that if you're getting a car wreck and your femur's broke, don't come in for acupuncture. Go have the surgery, and then we can actually work together and help you recover faster. So the average person, whether it's a knee replacement or coming in from an ACL, the recovery can speed up 3 times faster if you add a complementary medicine to it, like acupuncture or a magnetic resonance system or the laser or chiropractic. So if you don't make time for your health, we want to emphasize prevention. So these are mainstream things. There's no arguing that good nutrition is going to help prevent blood sugar issues and weight issues and thyroid issues and adrenal issues and so forth. And so that's more mainstream. We know that exercise is an important role. We know the important role of yoga and things like that are mainstream. And so we want to keep emphasizing that wellness model and the prevention to give you the tools. So these are all active things that you have control of. And then we're going to back into the things that you might not know as much about or encourage these or help facilitate the more common things too. So if you don't make time for health, then you need to make time for illness. So I heard this great, the last talk we did at a financial place, he came up and introduced why he brought us in, and he had a good little thing that he said, he has all these clients with all this money, and he notices that they're sick, and they're dying, and he has all this money that he's managing, and so they spend the first half of their lives using their health to chase their wealth, and the second half of their lives using their wealth to chase their health. And I see that a lot. I work with a lot of golfers and a lot of people who are of retirement age and low back degeneration, arthritis, bursitis, tendonitis, digestive stuff. So if we focus on us now and be proactive, whether it's using more of an active therapy like yoga or exercise, or using more of a passive therapy like chiropractic or massage or acupuncture, or bringing them together, the better off we're going to be. We have to invest in ourselves for the future. So again, this is going back, I kind of jumped around, but weight or insomnia, back pain, stress. I just want to back up real quick and just talk about inflammation is the number one cause of disease patterns. The number one cause of inflammation is stress, and not just emotional stress, but stress on the body. So if your joint is out of position, if my arm is rotated a little bit, and I'm constantly using this arm and it's not in the right position, then it's going to put wear and tear on that joint. It's going to put stress. So eventually that joint has to grow a spur, or gets arthritis, or starts getting bursitis, or if I go and I'm playing with my kid and I go to throw a ball, I have a higher risk of tearing my shoulder rotator. So it can be from stress like that. It can be stress on the digestive system, where things aren't working properly, and after a period of time, they get worse and worse. So it's not just emotional stress, it's physical stress and internal stress as well. All right, so we know we manage and maintain a lot of things on a daily basis. We manage our roads, we fill potholes, we repave, we manage our bridges, we manage our cars, we change the oil, we change the belts, we change the filters, we rotate the tires, we put new tires on. We constantly are doing improvements inside of our house. We know how important it is, as architects especially, to have a good strong foundation, so we want to start off at a certain place. We know we manage and maintain our furnaces. We change the filters, we have them cleaned once a year. And if we don't, eventually our roof is going to leak if you didn't replace your roof. Your car eventually is going to break down. It's going to, if you don't put oil in it, you blow your pistons. If you don't change the belts, your belt's breaking. And our bridges are going to collapse. Our furnace is going to break and overheat. It's not going to be energy efficient. And we want our bodies to be energy efficient. We don't want our structural system to collapse. If our foundation is weak or poor, we get cracks in the building. The walls are going to kind of tilt and stuff like that. The same thing happens. My tilt or my crack might be a forward head posture, and then all of a sudden I get a bulging disc in my neck, which is causing maybe pain down my arms. Or it might be sciatic pain. Or it might be, again, insomnia, or so forth. We get potholes if we don't fill our potholes and maintain our infrastructure. So we have to think about our body's infrastructure, how we maintain that, and how we maintain and manage that. So don't procrastinate and ignore. And that looks spelled wrong. Is anybody a good spelling? Is that right? Just want to throw that out there. All right, thank you. So there's no magic wand. We're all different. Each person's healing process will be unique. It'll take some time, patience, and work for you and your providers, a team, to restore your health. And again, going back to the beginning, there's not one cookie cutter thing for everybody. That's why it's important to have a consult and find out, what your needs are, what you have going on, and the best fit. And then sometimes it's a combination. And I think that you're used to putting things in a cookie cutter model. There's one pill for this, or there's a pill for this, or there's, do this exercise. But if that were the case, we only need one book on diet. But there's thousands of books out there on diet, because each book is going to be a little different for each diet's going to be a little different for each person, your body type, your exercise, your input, your output. So that's why we bring together a bunch of different modalities. I didn't have room to put all this stuff on here. We have probably 16 different modalities at our office, but these are some of our primary: the massage, the acupuncture, and these are individual services, laser, herbology, the chiropractic, and endoscopy. And then Endoscopy and Lifebook, this is actually a personal development and business development program, and the Endoscopy is more of a program. So we have individual services and program type services. So alternative medicine, a big word, isn't a mystery anymore, and it's well accepted in mainstream. As a matter of fact, you guys happen to have 20 chiropractic visits a year and 20 acupuncture visits a year paid by your major medical. So major medical is reimbursing complementary medicine, holistic medicine.
Brian, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Those are statistics from our health insurance plan?
Yep.
What do you got?
It's deductible. So what about the deductible in it?
And it might be still, we verify insurance just in case there's somebody who didn't want a certain thing in the plan. I don't know how your human resource works, and if you had a couple different options. But there's a $50 out-of-network deductible. Or no, I don't know what your in-network deductible is. I'd have to call it.
Are we in network with you?
Yeah.
You are? Okay.
Yep.
And I think the way it works, whoever did that before, I think, don't we, if you got, I haven't been to a doctor in so long, isn't it a $50 copay? Anybody been to the doc recently? Is it?
It might be less than that. Typically, it's a little less. You guys have Humana. Humana is not that big in Colorado. Humana is a little more. I mean, they're big, but they're not as big as like East Coast. Typically, you see like Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare. But we can verify. Anybody who wants their insurance verified, you can fax it to our office or call. Because all they need is your subscriber number, your ID, and your birthday. That's it. The American Medical Association, the World Health Organization, the Mayo Clinic, National Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine, the National Institute for Health, Harvard Medical School. All these people have done extensive research on things like acupuncture, and massage, and chiropractic, and it's well accepted and hey, you're coming up to visit across the board. And it's pretty cool because Mayo Clinic just had a thing out in Time magazine. It was like their last quarter publishing, and it was a huge thing on alternative medicine. But the thing I like to talk to people about is when you go to a doctor and you're a tough case and you've been to every specialist and they don't know what to do with you, where do they send you? They send you to the Mayo Clinic because they're the most respected and well-known out there. And they have huge, massive complementary or holistic alternative programs at their offices. So as a thank you, we know how important it is to about your health and health prevention, and I know it's time and effort for you guys to come in and take the time, but it's a very important thing. So after each provider, I just wanted to let you know, if you schedule an appointment before you leave today, we're covering half the cost of your initial visit, no matter what it is, whether it's a massage or a gastro or laser therapy. And so I'm going to leave that up there. If it's not covered by insurance, that's another option for you. I'm going to save questions, and I'm going to introduce Tess. So Tess is the acupuncturist. Come on up.
Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
Hi there, I'm Tess, and as Dennis mentioned, I'm his acupuncturist as well as his dog. So first off, thank you so much for having us out here. I also want to congratulate everyone on being so proactive about your health. That's really great that you're taking this first step. And then first off, find out how many of you have had acupuncture? Okay, one. Good. Okay, so not very many. Well, hopefully this talk will encourage you to give acupuncture a try. It's a wonderful and beautiful medicine, and it's been around for some 4,000 to 5,000 years, so there's a lot to it. So it originated in China, as I said, some 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. And the Chinese believe that the body is all connected through these 14 meridians. And there's about 400 points on the body with about 100 points in the ear, but don't worry, only about 20 points are used for acupuncture treatment. And why I like Chinese medicine and why I think that it's so successful at working with things is that it focuses on the root of the problem and not just the symptom of the problem. So it's really about trying to find what's causing that symptom and dealing with that. So an example of this is, say someone comes in to see me for low back pain. After the course of a couple weeks, their low back pain will start to improve, but they will comment to me that other areas of their life are improving as well. So maybe they're feeling less stressed, they're sleeping better, they have less digestive issues. So again, it's all about bringing the body into a state of balance, treating the root of the problem and not just the symptom. The theory of Chinese medicine is that it's based on qi, and qi is basically just your body's own energy source. So I spoke about the meridians earlier, and ideally these meridians should be open and flowing smoothly with qi, blood, and body fluids. But what happens is life takes over. So you have stress, pain, different things, and it causes these meridians to become stagnant, and that's where the needles come in. So an acupuncturist uses the needles to kind of remove that stagnation and kind of get the qi, the blood, the body fluids all moving smoothly again and bringing your body back to that state of harmony and balance that I spoke about earlier. So another way of looking at it is it's kind of harnessing and redirecting your body's own energy source to kind of heal itself. So from a Western standpoint though, acupuncture works by tapping into your nervous system. It has been proven to decrease inflammation. It also releases natural endorphins, and it promotes a state of natural healing by promoting circulation of blood and oxygen. So kind of the first question I have with acupuncture and people's biggest concern is, does acupuncture hurt? And I can tell you that most people will tell you that the anticipation of the needles is far worse than the needles themselves. So most new patients that come in to see me, they are a little bit nervous, but after I put that first needle in, most are pretty surprised and say that they hardly felt it. So it is a pretty painless process. All of the needles are individually sealed and packaged in sterile packages, so you never have to worry about sharing needles with anybody. It's a very safe process that way. The needles are also very thin stainless steel needles, and just to give you kind of a frame of reference for size, about 10 of them will fit in one hypodermic needle, so they're very small. Once people have acupuncture put in and the needles are in, they usually report a sensation of heaviness, a dull tingling sensation, and some people feel nothing. So it really just depends on your body and how you experience it. Acupuncture treats a wide variety of conditions. It's probably most commonly known for pain, just because it treats it so well. But it treats so much more than pain. So it's really effective at treating stress, anxiety, sleep problems, depression. It's really good for digestive disorders, men's, women's health, and on and on. I could go on for a while. And then another component of Chinese medicine I want to touch briefly on is Chinese herbs, and Brian did mention that. So along with being an acupuncturist, I'm also an herbalist. So traditionally I do herbs and acupuncture together. And herbs kind of have the same theory as acupuncture that I mentioned, which is that it wants to treat the root of the problem and not just mask the symptom. So an example would be 5 people come in for, say, insomnia. All 5 people would get a specific individual formula tailored to them. So it's very unlike Western medicine where they kind of just shell out the same medication for the same problem. So it's very individualized and tailored. All of the herbs are 100% natural organic ingredients, and they're primarily of plant origin. And so it's a great alternative for those who are seeking something other than Western medication. And what's kind of great is that a lot of modern pharmaceuticals, so say something as simple as like common aspirin all the way to advanced chemotherapy drugs, a lot of them have their roots in Chinese medicine. So there's a lot of research right now on the safety and effectiveness of these herbs. So they treat the same things as mentioned before, and they're primarily used together in conjunction, acupuncture and herbs. And when used together, they just have really great results. So one thing to kind of talk about is stress. It's something that I know we all experience now and then. It's a really fast-paced society. It's hard not to experience stress. If you're anything like your boss over here, I know you're working hard, you're putting a lot into your jobs. But the problem with stress is if it's left unresolved, it can manifest in really some unpleasant ways. So sleep problems, maybe fatigue even if you are sleeping, digestive issues, pain, however it may manifest. And so acupuncture is a really great way of reducing your stress and promoting a state of relaxation. So thank you so much. That's all I have.
Hey, Tess, let me ask you something on the stress thing, because you know what? People in our profession,
Sure.
you know, we have large man-hour projects, and we get behind, and so many times many of us are putting in some hours, and we're fighting for a deadline, and that's always very stressful. What, besides acupuncture, okay? And I know what that does for stress. Besides that, you're an herbalist, okay? So what are things like that architects would do? I mean, just without, is there things without going to a clinic? Is there certain types of herbs? Is there exercises? I mean, what's something when you're stressed? What's a good thing to do? So.
Probably the number one thing you can do if you're stressed is to breathe. I think a lot of us, when we get stressed, we don't breathe properly. And I know that seems like such a weird concept because we all are breathing right now. But taking nice deep breaths, breathing from your belly, that's probably one of the easiest things you can do to instantly relieve stress. But acupuncture, as I said, is a great way to relieve stress. And then also herbs. I have many, many herbal formulas, and again, it would be kind of tailored specifically to each individual. But they work really great on herbs, sleep, the things that come along with it. So, you know, you don't have to come see the acupuncturist every day to feel that state of relaxation. You could supplement it with some deep breathing exercises, meditation, things like that we could work on, but also the herbal component as well. So that's kind of the beauty of alternative medicine is, you know, we look for working with a bunch of different things and tailoring it to your specific needs.
What about just plain exercise?
Exercise is wonderful. That's a great way of really relieving stress. I mean, definitely exercise is a great way to
exercise and drinking.
Yes, you can't drink all day long, so unfortunately. So yes, there are some great other alternatives, but exercise is a great one, and I always recommend people that are stressed or have sleep problems. Get out and move, get your body going. That's a great way. So wonderful, and I'm going to be doing some demonstrations later in the room, so if anybody wants to just see what an acupuncture needle feels like, or come talk to me a little more specifically, I can definitely talk to you more then. Thanks so much.
One of the,
sure.
I'm just curious, just because I benefited so much from learning some of this stuff, and I thought this would be one great program. In fact, for all of us that are working in the senior market, okay, one of the things that we're doing more and more, in fact, you can look to the hotel industry. If you go to virtually any major hotel, any 4-star and above hotel, in the last 5 years or so, what they generally have done, and I'm talking about a Hyatt or something like that, what they generally have done is way increased their spa area, okay? Increased spa services, and began to introduce these wellness services, holistic therapies, okay? There's one, recently I got a gift certificate to go to a wellness center over here at the Inverness Hotel. And if you look at the stuff they have there, okay, from hot stone therapy and aromatherapy, that virtually didn't exist 5 years ago. But what I thought, and again, I think I told you, I always had a keen interest in nutrition and health and wellness and all that. And I just thought, the cool thing is, in fact, I just recently went to that spa, and it's just, it's amazing, I mean, what the holistic therapies do for me. But I really believe in it, and I like it, and so forth. And it's not, so anyway, I just thought it was really interesting. And it's one of the biggest things we deal with as architects, is we have these stress. I mean, it just is. It's anyone that got into the profession figured that out when they were in college. And more than half of the people in college dropped out because they said, well, I'm not doing this. Okay. So, and these are the rest of us who said, no, we are going to do it. So anyway, so that's why I thought it was a really useful
Wonderful.
thing to
Hopefully
do.
we can help you manage some of that stress.
Right. Anyway,
Right. And
so.
I think Dr. Amanda is our chiropractor, and she'll have a little bit more to say about that, so she's going to come talk to us.
Hello, everyone. Awesome. So in case you're all falling asleep, I have a lovely video with pictures and color and animation, and yay! So hopefully that'll be good. As far as on the stress thing, though, there's a lot of things several of us do. As she mentioned, I'm the chiropractor, Dr. Amanda Friedhoff. Nice to meet you. As far as Chinese herbs, and then also I do quite a bit of Western herbalism. And sometimes something really simple, like getting enough B vitamins in your diet. B vitamins are water soluble. Every time you take a drink of water and then use the restroom, you've lost them again. So I can talk to each one of you on a one-on-one basis if you have some questions, and just see what in your diet you're missing that might be accidental. Sitting at work too long and all of a sudden, oh gosh, I totally forgot, I haven't eaten anything with magnesium in it in 4 days. Now you may not think of that, but your body knows. All of a sudden you get muscle cramps, tightness, headaches, pain, you can't go to sleep. So this is sort of along the lines of the things that I can help with. Hopefully this will pop up perfectly and we can get explanation. It's about 4 minutes, and we're not at all. All right, well, maybe not then. Okay, well,
Kelly will get you going here.
okay, well, if someone can help me with this. Otherwise, basically, let me just ask you guys from chiropractic perspective, who has been to a chiropractor who knows what in the world they are? Any guesses? So no one has a clue. That's what's going on. So you may have heard these funny things like neck pain, back pain. Oh, I sit too long, I get a headache, I might have something, a kink. I slept too wrong. These are some of the things that people think, yeah, please, if you can help me with that, that'd be lovely. Basically, those are all misnomers. The way that the body is, well, this guy's going to explain it for me because I can do it with pictures, but basically it's the brain connecting to the body and the body connecting back to the brain and having a connection. And I want you guys to all get a lovely explanation here, so hopefully it's not taking, oh God, that's another thing. Do we have better sound would be the next thing. Brian, are you pulling sound from here? Is that what you're doing?
I didn't have any.
All right, well.
Turn the TV up. The volume.
No,
up.
it's coming from my phone. Well, I will explain what Vicky's saying then. How about that? Can anyone hear that at all?
Mm-hmm.
Let's try it. This is lovely. Okay, so basically what I could just do is just skip that. Sorry guys, pretty picture's not happening. So what he's trying to explain to you is that your brain is connected to your spinal cord. And what ends up happening, actually, Brian, if you could grab me that iPad out there, I'll just put a picture up and just show people what a spinal cord looks like. So the reason why everybody thinks that it's from your neck and from your mid-back is because when you're... Let's stop. Okay. So when your brain actually connects down... Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Don't you guys just love the technology things? Isn't this fun? It only works if you can get the technology to do what you want. Alright. Oh, look at that! Pictures. Who doesn't love pictures? Okay, so like I was just saying, the reason why... Will it do that? Yay! The reason why everybody thinks it's a neck and back problem is because the spinal cord goes from right here, the base of your skull, all the way down to your low back, right here. And you may have heard, you watch all those dramas on TV and they say, hurry, give him a spinal tap. And they always poke him here. They never do it anywhere else. There's a reason why they do that. Your spinal cord actually stops right there. Everything else is a branch. You can't get anything into your hand. You can't get carpal tunnel without having a neck problem. You can't get anything into your leg. You can't have sciatica without a back problem. It's physically impossible to get something to your foot or to your hand or to the top of your head without coming out the branch. Does this make a little bit more sense? So now we're saying, oh gosh, I have neck pain, I have back pain. Let me go to the chiropractor. Well, what if you have trouble sleeping? What if you have high stress? What if you gosh, have stomach problems, like Ryan mentioned a few things, or you have diabetes. Okay, well, whoa, chiropractic and diabetes, where are you going with that? Okay, so pancreas, let's just make a little correlation here. Look at that, connects there, right here. What happens when you sit badly? You roll your back. What happens? You put pressure on that part of your spine. You're pinching that nerve. Nerve's going to heart, lungs, stomach, pancreas. You starting to see how this connects? More often in my office, what I see is I have people come down and sit and they'll say, I'm coming to see you because I have a neck problem. It's probably just because I slept on. Yeah, whatever. It's not a big deal. Just get it and fix it, and then I can go about my day. And I ask them all these questions. I say, well, how about lungs? Do you have any problems with asthma? Oh yeah, I've had problems with asthma since I was a kid. I'm on an inhaler. Okay, what about your heart? Oh, exercise induced. I have troubles breathing. I have troubles walking. Oh, what about down here? Oh yeah, I have problems in the bathroom. Oh, what about this? Oh, I'm a woman. I have terrible menstrual cramps, or I had a terrible pregnancy. None of that relates, right? Well, actually, it's all the same nerve. It's all from the same spot. And I get these, oh my God, aha moments from everyone that comes in, because I stitch together all the individual things that they have going on and explain how it's just one tiny fix in each spot, and then you prevent that from happening. So, is a chiropractor going to have you come in and say, oh, I have diabetes one day and I don't the next day? No, that's not going to happen. But most of the time, some of these conditions don't develop in one day. You didn't just leave the window open one day and caught cancer or caught type 2 diabetes. It doesn't sneak in when you're sleeping. It's something that shows up over 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years in some cases. And in that case, that's why we do check people as often as we can, including even in children, because a fall that you had, or here's one that everyone did. Who, when they were a kid, decided to sit at the top of the stairs and go down on their butt, one stair at a time? Anybody do that? Am I the only one that did that? Oh, come on, fess up. Some people did that. No, nobody slid down the stairs on their slide, nothing. No, went skiing down the stairs, nothing. All right. Well, most people have done little things. They've fallen off a horse. They fell off the jungle gym. They fell off the monkey bars, whatever. And those all add up. So now you get to the point where you're 30, you're 40, you're 50, and you've got to think back to every single thing you did. Big things, car accidents, those are like larger effects. Small things, going down the stairs on your butt, those are smaller effects. But they all stack, and over time you get degeneration. Something I'll show you guys really, really quickly is what ends up happening. Okay, we'll just zoom in just a touch. So in the beginning you have a lovely spine, and I'll go into this much more detail if anyone has interest in the office. And as you start to age, you lose that curve. You're sitting at the desk, because no one here sits forward at their desk, right? Nobody does this? Nobody's typing like this? Nobody's mousing and then writing and then doing this and then texting and then doing this and going, oh my God, that hurts. So obviously this is no one in this room. But if you do that for a long period of time, what you end up getting is change. Okay, so the body says, I have so much weight forward, let's make more bone. Let's be smart. Let's make more bone, right? Except what it's doing is it's making more bone at the front, because that's where you're leaning. And you have all kinds of soft tissue right here, all kinds of things like nerves and important functions that are right there. And when you grow what we call it teeth in the spine, or arthritis or degeneration, it's really painful when you have hard bone growing into soft nerve. So as you go longer and longer and longer, the body says, let me help, let me just make it into one bone. You know, forget this multiple bones in the neck thing. Let's just make one giant mega bone, which seems like it would be a good idea, except you do have those little nerves that live in between there. So in summary, basically most of the things that you have going in your body are directly related to your spine. In fact, all of them. The fact that I can pick up this piece of paper and then put it back down. My arms had a signal connected to my brain, did all these things. I can find my nose when I have my eyes closed. Thank God that actually worked. Because I know where it is, because of the signals. So it makes sense that if you can do all these functions because the signals are working, if the signals were not working, fill in the blank, what could you have happen if that wasn't happening properly, and then likewise, if we were to restore this function, the earlier the better, the younger the better, the sooner after an accident the better, what would you then not develop later on in your life? So, hope that this made some sense. Does anyone have some immediate questions about this? Otherwise I can answer them over in the other room. Any quick stuff? No? You guys are a very, very loud bunch. Shh, keep it down, my God. Alright, so, Brian, did you have any final words for us?
Yep, just a couple.
Okay, well, I'll let this man talk, and thank you guys so much. I'll be in the next room if you have any personalized questions.
So it's almost 12:40, so I want to get some people over there. So we have the deep tissue laser therapy, which we didn't talk about. So if you want to come over and experience that or talk about how that can help you. And then also the postural alignment stuff, I'll do postural assessments with people. And the quick template of it is that everybody has a design template they're supposed to be in, and that's dictated by whether tendons and ligaments and all that stuff attach. And so any deviation from your load joints, from the side view, from a hip imbalance or shoulder imbalance, puts stress on the system, which ties into the chiropractic and stuff like that. So I can make recommendations, see if your pelvis is tilted too far, check that, check your shoulders out, and just kind of see what you have going on. And then, so whether you're a sports enthusiast, a skier, somebody who's had a lot of knee surgeries, a golfer, somebody who's looking for to improve on their sports and efficiency, or if you just want to feel better, if you just don't feel the best you, don't give up. Just keep striving to be a better you, and you want to feel better. So if your energy's not optimized, if you have mental clarity issues, if your sleep's not perfect, don't let that be the status quo. So find out if there's something you can do, and if we don't have it, there's a tool here for everybody. If we don't have it, I'll help you find it. So that's it. So great to meet you guys. If you want, grab the paper over there. I can pass them around on your way out, and then we're going to be in the room on the corner, and I'll fire up the laser if anybody wants to get zapped. So any last questions before I go?